Good people of Providence, dire consequences this evening. The Gaspee, just down the bay. The men have taken the longboats down there to burn her. 6 months of tyranny is now finished. 6 months of that Captain Duddingston taking our livelihoods is over. 6 months of being under the knuckles of that pirate down the bay. Captain Duddingston calls himself a Navy officer, says he has permission from the Crown. We showed him who's boss tonight, didn't we? Huzzah!
6 months of Duddingston, we have eliminated. Fine. But how much more do we have to endure because of the actions of a few hotheads? These men have been gambling, not with their own lives, but with everyone's lives. These men who have burned the Gaspee are igniting a fire that may spread to other communities. They may burn Warren or Newport next. What will happen to our livelihoods because of the actions of a few?
I'll tell you what's going to happen. The governor and the King George himself has put out a wanted poster for £500 per man and £500 for those who would call them sheriff for the captain that burned and attacked the Gaspee. And these people will be brought over to England for trial, and they will be duly receiving of condign punishment, mainly to be hung.
I hope, in fact, hanging is what they offer. I realize fully that it's a threat, and I would be their #1 target. But for you, and for you, and for you, sir, I would be proud. We need to take back our country. We need to take responsibility for what we're doing and realizing we don't need taxes to support other wars and other countries. We need to be here and owning what we owe.
Yes, a few hotheads went out there and burned a ship. A few of us stood up for the rest of you. How many of you would not be willing to not be sheep anymore? How many of you want to be human beings, have the respect, and know that people can stand up against that kind of tyranny? How many? Jarrett! That's what we need. And if your barn burns, you know what? The rest of this community will come and build your barn back. And if you lose a ship...
You make promises. Can you carry through with them?
We just did.
You make...
Some of you asked me about Duddingston, and he did take a musket ball to the groin. He's wounded, but he's alive. When asked about how he was doing, he said, "I'm just fine."
And the king wants to know every name of everyone here, because all of you must know the names of those who burnt the Gaspee.
Please!
I want bodies!
Think of your neighbors when they come.
That's why we did it. We're thinking about each and every one of you. Not everyone here can get into the boat and row down there and burn the Gaspee. Not every one of you can go out there and take that action. But each and every one of you will benefit from this, I guarantee it. And I am a gambler, but this is an easy bet. If you're on your own 2 feet, you can stand up.
You think it's so easy to be an independent country from the benign graces of King George III. Well, you will find out otherwise, you unsurly, unrespectful, and ungrateful subjects of the king.
There's the salute the king deserves.
There's a salute.
Absolutely. Are these the crews?
You're all here.
People of Providence.
Did you take...
We're having a little court of inquisition down in Newport as to who burnt the Gaspee. Was it you? Do you know anybody who did it? Do you know anybody who did it?
It was her!
Well, you're going to come over to England and be tried. Hung, drawn,
Tell
and
me,
quartered.
are you afraid of what you might have just started? Are you afraid that maybe this fire that you started will spread to other places? Are you afraid that maybe you have set this colony aflame because of a petty dispute with a man who is admittedly exceeding his boundaries?
These are dire consequences. These are serious things that we have done. But That's the import of all of this. No foolishness down there of writing letters. How many of you have written letters to politicians before and seen nothing come from it? What do? They make you promises. How can you tell a politician is lying? His lips are moving. They will make you a promise. They will make you a promise. They will make you a promise. And you know what will happen out of it? Nothing. When you stand up on your own 2 feet, when you go out there and take some action against them, not writing little letters to them in protest, then they notice. Then they react to it. It might be hard for a while. It might be hard on all of us, but if we stick together, we'll get through this and be in a better spot than we were before.
How dare you be so insolent against the benevolence of King George III?
Benevolence.
He has protected and loved his people and all of his subjects all across the world.
He loves them with the gun. He loves them with the
trample
faith.
on his testimony.
That you suspect how many people
He's
the
a
king
king.
Thank you.
falsely suspected, how many people's lives will be disrupted on false grounds.
We have good testimony from a black indentured servant that there are certain persons that were involved in burning the Gaspee, including John Brown, Abraham Whipple, and Dr. Weeks.
Dr. Weeks, a guy by the name of Bowen. You know what?
Bowen, Samuel Potter from Bristol.
You can take the list of all the leading citizens and make any mark against them you want. But without a shred of proof, your hangings go out the window.
They will testify nonetheless.
Then it will be like a witch trial, finding a
They don't
murder.
We don't do witch trials in Rhode Island.
I'm quite willing to take responsibility. I feel right about what we've done. I've been involved with this challenge for a long time, and I realize that the taxation that we get without having any representation or any voice in it is not correct. So I'm saying we don't need them to sign a sheet and say who they are and whether they were there. I'm fine, but they'll have to catch me first.
Yeah!